Tonight on News 5 Live, last-minute meetings continue ahead of scheduled public service strike on May 3rd. Senator Koyi calls for unity as budget passes Senate. And NICH launches investigation into alleged payment of UDP supporters' Social Security loan. Details of these stories and more coming up in tonight's newscast.
In these challenging times, the one thing that is certain is that the Belize Bank Limited is here for you. There is nothing more important than your health and safety. and we continue to make every effort to make banking safer for you. Our staff is working around the clock to make sure you can do your banking conveniently 24/7 using our mobile banking app and online banking and keeping ATMs up and running. We value your relationship with us and are here to provide the support you need. First responders are also out there 24/7. Thank you, healthcare workers, security forces, firefighters, caregivers. You are all appreciated. Stay safe. We will get through this together. The Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
It's a fact that with Smart, you get truly unlimited everything. Only with Smart, you get unlimited data anytime, while with the other guy, it's only double data on weekends. With unlimited data every day with Smart, there's no need to wait. So, it's a fact that our unlimited plans beat the competition. Stop being measured and told when to use your data and get unlimited talk, text, and data. Experience the true unlimited plans with Smart. That's a fact. Make the switch and live smart.
As we continue to enhance customer experience, the Social Security Board is proposing the use of biometrics. Biometrics is the measurement of a person's unique physical characteristics, such as fingerprints and facial features, used to establish and verify that you are who you say you are. Biometrics will ensure services are provided to the right person at the right time, making customer transactions easier and secure. Identity management with biometrics will be easier. It allows us to quickly and accurately confirm your identity when accessing any of our services, from the moment a person is registered to the moment the payment of a benefit is made. With biometrics, fraud will be minimized by easily identifying those who pose a security risk. The enhancement of customer services to you means no more filling out of forms, no more presentation of an ID, and decreased waiting time. Your convenience and your information security is our priority. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Thursday, April 29th. I am Sabrina Daly. The Joint Unions negotiating team met this afternoon in an extended virtual session following the passage of the 2021 budget in the Upper House on Wednesday. The way forward for the Belize National Teachers Union, the Association of Public Service Senior Managers, and the Public Service Union is uncertain. Wednesday's vote in the Senate has all but sealed the deal on the 10% wage cut and increment freeze that teachers and public officers will receive for the next 3 years. The unions are fighting tooth and nail to prevent the implementation of the salary adjustment and have proceeded with industrial action against the government of Belize. The effort, nonetheless, has been met with mixed reactions from the public, as the issue remains a divisive topic amid the ongoing economic hardship the country is faced with. News 5 attempted on several occasions this evening to get a word from BNTU National President Elena Smith, but we were informed that the Zoom meeting would run into overtime. We will have more on the outcome of this evening's meeting in Friday's newscast. The National Trade Union Congress of Belize is refuting claims made by former Attorney General Michael Perifete during an interview with News 5 on Wednesday. Perifete said the unions are partly to blame for the failure of the previous administration to enact the recommendations of the final country review by the United Nations on UNCAC. Well, tonight, the unions say they only attended a single meeting with the former AG to inquire about the status or process of the implementation of the UN Convention Against Corruption. According to the unions, at no time did the AG make any request for submissions regarding the passage of the legislation. They say they would have complied with, quote, deliberate speed and courtesy, unquote, if such a request had been made. The release notes that the recommendations of UNCAC were made to the government of Belize, and it is the responsibility of the government to enact legislation. NTUCB says it views the former AG's allegations and further statements as, quote, disturbing and confrontational to the unions of Belize and resistance to UNCAC, unquote. Wednesday's Senate debate on the 2021 to 2022 General Revenue Appropriation Bill ended in a division vote. All 6 POP senators voted in favor of the bill, as did the Senator for the Business Community, Kevin Herrera, and Senator for the Churches, Bishop Alvin Benguche. All 3 UDP senators voted against the bill, as did Senator for the Unions, Elena Smith. Senator for the NGO community, Osmani Salas, abstained. So, at the end of the debate, the majority vote was in favor of passing the budget. During his presentation, POP Senator and Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance, Economic Development and Investment, Christopher Koyi, called on Belizeans to join forces for the love of country.
In the simplest of terms, we, all of us, red, blue, yellow, green, and every other color in between, political opinion or creed, we all have to get up, stand up, and work if we want to achieve the vision of Belize. To rescue and build this country with the constitutionally stated principles, beliefs, and ideals, not only for ourselves, but more so for our children, for the love of our country, we all have to give more of ourselves to our country than we have ever given before. This is not a time to take for oneself, the modus operandi of the past. This is a time to give of oneself, the modus vivendi of the future. This budget represents the formal fiscal representation of that effort, that work, that giving of ourselves for the benefit of our country and our children's future. Yes, the past UDP administration has made it much harder on all of us. With the heavy debt load, the government is fiscally constrained from pursuing a counter-cyclical expansionary policy in this time of economic depression. That is, government cannot undertake massive government expenditures to fill the gaping hole left by the economic contraction in the private sector.
Principal Karima Arnold has broken her silence on the salary cut and increment freeze for teachers and public officers. Today, the staff over at Stella Maris School wore their green shirts in solidarity with the Belize National Teachers Union. Arnold told the media that the decision taken by GOB is an affront to all those who have invested so much in their professional development to meet the qualifying standards for the classroom put in place by the government.
We understand that this whole pandemic has taken a toll on everybody, the entire economic system of the world. However, like you rightly mentioned, teachers have taken the time to qualify themselves, to ensure that they gain the necessary credentials that they need to be in this profession. Taking away our salary is somewhat like a slap in the face. This is my point of view, a slap in the face. And it's not something that we are taking quite easily or taking sitting down. There must be other options that the government can take or look at before they say, all right, this is what we're going to do, and hands down. As we speak, we have teachers who have been reaching out to parents and finding out their take on it. As a union member, we come together. Our theme is solidarity. We will ensure that we come together if it means that we have to put all this aside momentarily and we have parents understand that what we're doing is not just for now. We want to set the groundwork for our children's children and for the next generations to come, that ensuring that all these things that we're doing now, that they don't have to go through.
As you know by now, about 50 schools reopened for in-person learning earlier this month, with another group set to start their phased-in approach on May 10th. At the Stella Maris School in Belize City, preparations are underway for their reopening in a couple of weeks. But even before then, teachers have been out doing individualized home visits with students who have regressed due to the pandemic shutdown in over a year. Principal Karima Arnold explains.
We know that our children have been out of school for over a year, and we know the level of regression that we may encounter, our children might encounter. So we propose this phase-in starting May 10th. Now what we propose is to do a half-day, half-class phase-in. We will have the students coming, half of the amount of students coming in the morning and half coming in the afternoon. We don't want to do an abrupt coming back where we have the children here all day. So what we are proposing is to have them just for a few hours in the morning, to have them gradually reintegrate back into the routine of coming back to school, waking up in the morning, getting prepared, and knowing that they are expected to come to school. Upon coming to school, it's not to jump directly into the full-fledged academic teaching, but we are proposing to integrate, having them better understand the whole dynamics surrounding COVID.
Coming up, the controversy continues over the Nature Conservancy. Find out who is weighing in now when we come back.
Pelican, the beer of Belize.
Contraband is illegal importation of fruits and vegetables or any commodities entering the country from an illegal port of entry. Contraband fruits and vegetables do not follow required sanitary protocols and may contain pests which can endanger agricultural industries, livelihood, and can result in the exposure to coronavirus. When purchasing these goods, you place yourselves and the lives of your loved ones at great risk. We advise the public to report any illicit activities to the nearest customs or Baja office. The Belize Marketing and Development Corporation, the Belize Agriculture Health Authority, and Customs Department encourage you to say no to contraband and buy local.
Why, Tony?
Boy, Keith, where you going, man?
I actually come see you because I need to buy a stack of them plastic plates and cups for my grocery shop because I run low.
Boy, I stopped importing that thing since April 15th, you know. And I just ran out of the last batch, must be about like 3 weeks back, you know.
Man, do I usually have anything? What is going on?
Check this, right? Under the new law, we ban all single-use plastics, so that the cups, plates, forks, spoons, and knives, all of that. Since April 15th, can't import none of them. Starting January 15, 2021, you can't manufacture them. April 15, 2021, you can't sell them. And after July 14, 2021, if you get catch with any other thing, you will get fined.
Me never know this. I guess I have to make some changes then. I have to make the customers know that anything not available. Anyways, bro. Thanks, man.
No problem, man. Take care.
Let's all work together to be germ busters and keep each other safe by stopping the spread of germs that can make us sick. Remember to wash your hands often, especially after using your devices or toys and before and after eating. If you don't have soap and water, use a hand sanitizer. Make sure to put it all over your hands, front and back, and let it dry. Don't wipe it off. Believe Electricity Limited. We care about your safety.
Inside the Senate on Wednesday, Senator for Government Business Eamon Courtney went into details about the land agreement between the government of Belize and the Nature Conservancy. In his presentation, Senator Courtney referred to the transaction as a scandal and estimated that inclusive of stamp duty write-offs, land tax write-offs, and speculation tax write-offs, the former Minister of Land wrote off some $600 million in tax revenue payables to the government. And according to Senator Courtney, the former Minister of Lands executed the transaction only weeks before the 2021 general elections. These reports have, of course, raised eyebrows, considering the austere times Belizeans are facing. In response, Senator Parafit asked for proof.
I need to go in to the TNC scandal because the Belizean people must know why we find ourselves in this impossible situation today. Let me give you some details. On the 19th of October 2000, after the National Assembly was dissolved, Hugo Pat, Corozal North, then Minister of Natural Resources, signed a secret agreement with the Nature Conservancy. I don't know if Senator Parafit knew about it, but he will have an opportunity to tell us. It could not and was not brought to the National Assembly because it had already been dissolved. How was this nefarious deal structured? Big landowners transferred land, supposedly, to a trust controlled by the Nature Conservancy. And that trust is supposed to be for the people and government of Belize. How nice. How generous. But at what price? 266,000 acres of land in the Orange Walk district is supposed to go in this trust, controlled by the Nature Conservancy. Hugo Pat, with the stroke of his pen, waived all the stamp duty payable on that transaction. What was the value of the transaction? US $72,500,000. 145 million Belizean dollars is the value of that transaction. And all the stamp duty was waived by Hugo Pat. Senators, what are we talking about? The stamp duty payable on that was $7,250,000 Belizean dollars, given away by Hugo Pat by the stroke of his pen without National Assembly approval. It is a high crime to waive, listen, $70,800,000 in land tax, $1,416,000 per year, multiplied by 50 years, waived by you know who, amounts to 70,800,000 waived when we were suffering a COVID crisis. Speculation tax waived for 50 years. The Land Tax Act says the speculation tax is payable in addition to the land tax. The Belizean people must know that you know who gave away $385 million in speculation tax. The tax payable is $7,700,000 per year times 50 years, given away in the quiet of night without public disclosure by you know who.
When you want to talk about the behavior of another member in Parliament, you need to bring a substantive motion to that effect. So what Senator Courtney should have done, and he knows he should have done this, was to present to the Senate in advance notice that he will be bringing this up, and so that we can have a chance to respond and see what he was talking about. He would then, I would like for him to give me some contract that he said was prepared by Barrow and Williams, some signing. We need to see that. We haven't seen any contract signed, but so we don't know what that is about. Show it to us so we can debate it.
Is it something that if you see a final document and in fact there are some questionable actions in those, that is something you would speak against?
Of course, you ever know me for hold my tongue? Okay. I want to say what I need to say. And I will say that if something is wrong, it was wrong.
While the government and the opposition clash over the Nature Conservancy transaction, at least one conservationist believes it is a boon for the people of Belize. He spoke to News 5 about how these protected areas are purchased, the tourism revenue they generate, and the management of such areas.
The way I understand it, and I have been involved with some of these land transactions before, is that TNC raises the money to buy the land. The land was up for sale, it's private land. TNC buy the land and then donate the land to the government and people of Belize. And the land is then managed by a trust, which is managed by Belizeans. So I see it as a win-win situation. First of all, the land is in Belize. It forms an important part of the Northern Biological Corridor. The people who will be attracted to this land, who will visit Belize as a result of this land, are people who spend nights in hotels. They're not cruise tourism people. They are overnight guests who will come there and walk the trails, who will buy at the gift shop, who will eat at the restaurants, who will stay in hotels, who will fly in and out. So it's money for the Belizean economy. And I think that I know that there has been an issue about the tax break, but I believe that that tax break will be coming in by millions and millions of dollars in revenue because of the people that's coming to this area. Imagine if there were no NGOs, there are no conservation NGOs in this country. Do you know what the wage bill for the government would be? It would be a lot higher than it is now. The NGOs fill a gap that should have been filled by the government. But the government don't have to worry about rangers at the Port Honduras Marine Reserve now. They don't have to worry about rangers or managers for the Coxcomb Basin, which we pride ourselves on when we go to these international conventions and we talk about the amount of biodiversity that Belize is seeing. Belize is looked at as a leader in the world when it comes to conserving biodiversity.
Mahia is calling on NGOs and former NGO employees who are now government officials to stand in support of the Nature Conservancy. Mahia told News 5 that while he does not endorse the way the former administration went about the agreement, it is not a bad deal.
NGOs need to stick their neck out for each other. TNC's name is being dragged down the drain right now. And I think that the people, the NGOs who benefit from TNC and who benefit from other donor organizations, they need to stick their neck out. I mean, you have people within the government who should step up right now, who used to work for the Nature Conservancy, people who were involved in similar deals. When PUP was not in, they were working for NGOs. I mean, you could check the record.
News 5 understands that the United Democratic Party will be hosting a press conference at 10 a.m. on Friday morning to discuss the Nature Conservancy transaction. During the Senate budget debate, Government Business Senator Eamon Courtney raised a questionable transaction made by the National Institute of Culture and History under the previous administration.
We have found out, Madam President, a sick and sordid transaction that took place at the National Institute of Culture and History. A well-known United Democratic Party supporter, and if you mess with me, I'll call her name. A well-known United Democratic Party supporter had a lease of a piece of land for 30 years, got a mortgage from Social Security and defaulted. The National Institute of Culture and History, NICH, decided to pay off the loan to Social Security. $100,000 was paid in 2019 by way of resolution of the Board of NICH. This is a state enterprise, a statutory body dedicated to culture and history. It is paying off a mortgage for a UDP supporter in the amount of $100,000. And the minutes reflect that the then Minister of Education, the now temporary leader of the opposition, supported the decision. The auditors, Baker Tilly says, included in NICH's records are property tax and mortgage loan repayments to the Social Security Board, made on behalf of a third party, Shalini and Myrna Manzanares, for a total of $102,590.98, carried on its statement of financial position, though it was evident that the payout of the loan was duly approved on the condition that NICH would ultimately be made beneficiary to the property through inheritance. The Finance Department does not have on file any agreement or documentation to substantiate this arrangement or to substantiate NICH's future rights, if any, to the said property. Additionally, in discussing the matter with Finance, it was further highlighted that though the expenditure had been capitalized and carried as an asset of NICH, there is no supporting documentation on the department's files of the said treatment. Madam President, can you believe this? NICH pays off the $100,000. They then get the property transferred to NICH. Listen carefully, Senator Herrera. They then lease the property to Ms. Manzanares. You know what is the rent? The lease is rented $1 Belizean per year. 50 cents United States money per year, on which you have spent $102,000 of the people's money.
News 5 has learned that Board of Directors at NICH is carrying out an investigation into the alleged transaction. We have been informed that a release will be issued on the matter when the investigation has been completed. After the break, did Belize actually export more than it imported in March? Get the latest data from the Statistical Institute of Belize when we return.
again, baby.
Rain or shine, any weather. When we go bold, we go Berger. Quality paint, no faded colors. When we go bold, we go Berger. Let your imagination run free. Any color for this place, when we say bold, that mean it don't peel. Quality in every color, lifetime guarantee. When we go bold, we go Berger. When we go bold, we go Berger. Rain or shine, any color you need. When we go bold, we go Berger.
Offside! Was that a goal? Over.
Want to leave a lasting impact when you travel? Then travel locally. Make memories to treasure for a lifetime while making a difference. Make protected areas your next travel destination. With over 25 protected areas under the APAMO umbrella, the possibilities for adventure and education are endless. You can bond with friends and family while trekking through the jungles to discover natural pools and breathtaking views. Or take that snorkeling trip to the magnificent world of coral gardens and marine life. Then camp under the stars to end off that perfect day in nature. By visiting protected areas, you are helping to preserve valuable plant and animal life. You're building local communities and you're keeping our natural and cultural heritage alive. You have that power. Travel locally and make an impact. We invite you to visit a protected area near you and discover the beauty of Belize's wild places. APAMO, the voice of Belize's protected areas.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Andrea Polanco, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
A winemaker lost his life in a highway accident on Wednesday night. Chester Rekenya's family always feared for his safety because he spent a lot of time traversing the stretch of highway where he was killed. And last night, their worst fears came true. Today, his family says that this is the third time he has been knocked down. Here's the story.
53-year-old Chester Rekenya was walking at mile 2.5 on the George Price Highway just before 8 o'clock on Wednesday night when he was knocked down and killed on the spot. His sister, Andrea Rekenya, says it is a stretch of road he would walk every day.
I hear that he made a walk on the highway and then he made a drop one of his friend halfway, and I hear that they knock her down, and I see the Power News, and then I just zoom in and I say right away that my brother.
Now that area, that one area where Mr. Chester always the travel.
Every single day he there on the stretcher road, every single day.
Rekenya was a winemaker who lived at mile 4 off the George Price Highway, which is just down the road from where he lost his life. Rekenya says that she always feared for her brother's safety.
Every day he come into the city. He usually do illegal business. He sell wine. They know as wine man or Danto. People know him as that. Yesterday, on my way home, I saw when I in the bus, and I just stare upon her until he get out of sight, and that the last time I saw him. We tell him about it, making a ride on the road that night, because one of these days he might get knocked down. This is like the third time he get knocked down. He lose one of his teeth, and this slap.
Winemaker Chester Rekenya is remembered as a kind and fun-loving man who worked hard to make a living.
He loved his nieces and nephews so much that that was like a job for him. When he would go to Silgrass, or even here with those here in the city, he would do the same thing for those here and those there. He made those kids' childhood very fun, full and meaningful. He always set a good example for them. And it's the same with everyone around him, the adults, the friends. If he would go and sell stuff, he would sell them something and give something away as well. He was a very kind-hearted person.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.
The driver of the SUV, 24-year-old BDF soldier Benedict Joseph Sabal, was served with a notice of intended prosecution. The SIB released its latest monthly figures on Wednesday, indicating that Belize exported more than it imported in March. The cost of living also inched its way upward as food and butane prices increased. With a comprehensive look at the latest statistics, here is Isani Caetano.
In March, a total of $174.8 million in merchandise was brought into the country. Along with chemical products, imports of manufactured goods increased considerably, by more than $13 million when compared to the same period in 2020. The latest figures released by the Statistical Institute of Belize indicate that of the $35 million spent on manufactured goods last month, most of that money was used to purchase steel pipe piles. It simply means that notwithstanding the crushing economic situation, Belizeans continue to build. Medicines, biodiesel, and insecticides attributed to the 28% rise in chemical products towards the end of the first quarter. On the other hand, domestic exports were up by almost 20%. $33.7 million came in large part from the shipment of citrus products, boosting the sales of orange oil and orange concentrate. On the downside, imports into the commercial free zones declined by 13% as fewer consumers purchased handbags, clothing, and cigarettes. It's a loss of roughly $3.5 million, despite the fact that the Crozal free zone had just opened a few weeks earlier. Statistics for the first quarter of 2021 show a little under $500 million was spent on importing merchandise, down $38.9 million from the same period last year. The Consumer Price Index also points to the cost of food, butane, rent, and personal care products going up by 1.5% in March, which represents an inflation. The cost of food, particularly fresh produce, including lettuce, onions, cabbages, potatoes, limes, natural milk, pigtail, and wholesale chickens, has been inching upwards steadily since last April. As such, food and non-alcoholic beverages saw the highest rate of inflation among other major categories. A marked increase in the cost of transportation was driven primarily by a spike in the cost of fuels and lubricants. At the pump, a gallon of diesel went up to $10.20 in March, while premium gasoline was down by 63 cents. With an inflation rate of almost 2%, the twin towns of San Ignacio and Santa Elena recorded the highest increases in consumer prices for March 2021. Conversely, Corozal experienced lower than average increases in the cost of food items, pet food, and restaurant services. Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Caetano.
In Cabinet news this week, the Minister of Health and Wellness, Michelle Shabat, reported that to date, 40,000 Belizeans have received their first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine, which is in line with government's plan to ensure that 70% of Belizeans who wish to be vaccinated are vaccinated by September. Cabinet gave its approval for Minister of Rural Transformation, Community Development, Labor and Local Government, Oscar Requena, to develop and execute a national child labor policy to replace the existing 2009 policy. In addition, Cabinet also supported the request by the minister to introduce amendments to the Labor Act, Chapter 279 of the Laws of Belize, and for the ratification of the International Labor Organization Convention. This is in relation to labor administration and to present outstanding annual reports to the International Labor Office, which is in fulfillment of the ILO Convention to which Belize is a signatory. Finally, Cabinet welcomed the second half of the report from the Economic Recovery Advisory Committee and agreed to set up a number of ministerial subcommittees to review the recommendations of the Advisory Committee with a view to fast-track implementation of the recommendations. When we return, using technology to help the nonverbal communicate with their loved ones. A touching story from Stella Maris when we return. Stay with us.
Currently, we're using Smart Elite VoIP calling plan. We use it interbranch, we use it to call outside, and we also use it to call international. It's far cheaper than what we used to have before. Our equipment, our new PBX box is new. So the PBX is very good because I can call to my Sartaneja branch, I can call to my Kikaka branch, I can call to San Pedro branch, and there's no cost using the PBS. Actually right now, since we're in different locations, I can call main office from where I am at a no cost using the PBX system. I would recommend it, sure I would, especially the big enterprises who has a lot of employees. There's a lot of reduction in costs, 50% of saving. But that on a year, it's a lot of money that we're saving. Money that we could return to our members since we give back dividend to our members.
Visit our showroom or call 670-6710 to find out how Smart's corporate plan and PBX systems can benefit your business. Consultation is free.
The contamination of water we all depend on is a very urgent issue. As Belize's popularity and industries grow, challenges increase. In this episode, we will examine the issue of water pollution in Belize. Water pollution is the contamination of water bodies, usually because of human activities. Water bodies include lagoons, rivers, aquifers, and oceans. On the marine side, the discharge of sewage and bilge water from cruise ships and other live-aboard vessels, in combination with unregulated development of coastal areas, has led to the degradation of marine ecosystems such as mangroves and coral reefs. Our inland waters are facing their own challenges. As agricultural development increases, pesticides, fertilizers, and waste products are running off into rivers. Increased river traffic from boat tours and sugar barges adds to the already stressful conditions of the freshwater ecosystems. In addition, companies that collect sewage sometimes dump the waste right into the waterways. Additionally, in densely populated areas like Belize City and Orange Walk, poor sewage designs result in the contamination of groundwater and of water bodies by both sewage and wash water. In many cases, homes and businesses dump their wastewater directly into drains, which leads to rivers and the sea. Wastewater, detergents, and petroleum collect in drains that empty into waterways, such as the New River and the Belize River. This, along with the runoff and discharges from the agricultural and industrial businesses, have been inadequately monitored and enforced. The answers to overcoming water pollution issues are fourfold: improved infrastructure, adequate treatment, increased legislation and monitoring, and of course, changing our habits for the better. While it is urgent that better management on a policy level is needed, there are a few things we can do at home to help. Ensure proper treatment systems are installed for all wastewater at your home and business. Don't dispose of oil from your automobiles or cooking and household detergents down the drain. And lastly, minimize the usage of chemicals and fertilizers and report any dumping into waterways to the Department of the Environment. The government has recognized the threat of inadequate liquid waste management and is working toward goals of reducing and reversing its effects. For more information on what's being done about water pollution and ways you can help, visit our website at doe.gov.bz. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
Today, a short handing over ceremony was held at Stella Maris School in Belize City. Two nonverbal students who were diagnosed with Hunter's syndrome were gifted a tablet with an app that will help them to communicate at home and school. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
Everyone should be able to express their basic needs. I need to go to the bathroom. I am hungry. I am tired. I feel frustrated. Every child, 2, 5, 15, 25, 40, should be able to do that.
The heart-wrenching reality for a number of persons living with special needs. But it is with this in mind that Executive Chair Christy Almeida of Autism Belize decided to pull together the names of nonverbal persons and gift them with an electronic device equipped with an application that can help to give them a voice.
I reached out to Stella Maris first of all, and I said, I need a list of your children from young to old, there was no age limit, who are nonverbal and have no other means of communication. In other words, if they had sign language, that's a form of communication, that's great, fine. If they were proficient in PECS, picture exchange communication, that's great, they have a way to communicate. If they have nothing, I want the list of names. And we got those names, and I put them with other parents who have reached out to Autism Belize this month, or parents who are in my support group. And we ended up with, I think it was 49, it was just under 50 names. Look at the amount of names in this box. Of kids, youths, young adults, like I have a 24-year-old, 25-year-old name in here who still do not have a means of communication. And it's one of those things that really broke my heart this month.
Omar Gonzalez, a student at Stella Maris School, was successfully chosen as the recipient for the tablet donated to Autism Belize by Cellular World. Omar's older brother, Kalon Garcia, who has Hunter's syndrome, is also a nonverbal student and will benefit as well from a communication app that will be installed on the device for their use. Their primary caregiver is their grandmother.
For some reason, I took a sign language course. I just say I was going to learn it, not knowing that later on in life I would need it.
Oh, so that's how you guys speak using sign language?
Yes, and then we have on the cell phone, see it, say it, learn it. And then I would play it, put it on, and all of them would, because they come to Stella Maris. So, and he would say, Kalon, what is your ABC? And he would, when he sees the thing, he would do the action. If you ask him if he's hungry, he said no. He not say no, he shake his head. So with this tablet, it will be easier because then he would communicate with it.
It's not only a tablet, but there's a specific communication app. And we've also decided to donate that lifetime app for this child. And so what we're going to do, the name of the app is Avaz. This one is specifically for Android tablets or devices. So we're going to have our software technician install that app.
To assist, Project Speech will provide free virtual parenting coaching to the family for 6 months and teach the grandmother and the boys on how to effectively use the app. Principal Karima Arnold says that the gesture is priceless.
We have many students within our institution who are nonverbal. The plan is to help them get access to such devices to be able to communicate not only at home but also in school and be able to express themselves, because like Ms. Chrissy rightly mentioned, we want them to have an opportunity to express themselves and have a voice.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
In a related programming note, a special Autism Belize show airs immediately after the news. Just ahead, coping with COVID-19, a special report from the Welcome Resource Center. But first, here's the weather forecast with data from the Belize Met Service.
We do our best to get the information shared on vaccines so you can make that decision. We aim to be accurate and timely and will continue to do so for the development of our people and this country. We've lost too many of our loved ones to this disease. Here's the chance to protect ourselves and our loved ones. I believe in the COVID-19 vaccine. I will take the vaccine when it's my turn. Get vaccinated, Belize.
It is my time
to protect your life.
Don't wait to vaccinate.
I believe in the COVID-19 vaccine.
Do not hesitate, Belize. Vaccinate. Be COVID-19 safe.
The vaccine is the best way to protect lives.
Don't wait. Vaccinate.
If you care,
love them,
protect them,
vaccinate them.
Hello, Belize. You may not be aware of the new travel requirements set in place by the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. Passengers traveling to the U.S. must present a negative COVID test or a documentation of having recovered from COVID-19 to travel to the U.S. In light of this, Maya, in partnership with Caring Hands Clinic, have established testing centers in all their municipal airports. Caring Hands Antigen Test Center is operational in San Pedro, Belize City, Dangriga, Placencia, and Hopkins. These testing facilities are staffed by licensed healthcare professionals, including doctors, registered nurses, and nurse practitioners. Testing is done using Abbott rapid test devices that are FDA approved and made in the USA. The service is safe, fast, affordable, and the close proximity of the centers makes them convenient. Walk-ins are welcomed, but appointments are encouraged. If you would like to make an appointment, please feel free to do so at Make your appointment, get tested, and in 15 minutes, you can get back to your vacation.
Es un hecho que puedes obtener servicios ilimitados con Smart. ¿Cansado de que se corte la línea cuando más necesitas estar conectado? Es un hecho que cuando te suscribes al plan de Smart Plus, obtienes llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Y también es un hecho que te puedes suscribir con un grupo de 5 miembros al plan Smart Share y hasta 40 miembros al plan Smart Enterprise para llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Smart tiene los verdaderos planes ilimitados. Es un hecho. Sé Smart y vive de forma Smart.
As one of the largest cable and internet providers in Belize, CBC strives to provide our customers with the highest standards of quality, value, and service in all aspects of cable TV and internet. Monitoring our systems closely, our technicians combine creative planning and state-of-the-art technology with years of experience and training to develop and provide the most reliable and advanced cable and internet service to exceed your expectations. For CBC and our team of talented engineers, technicians, and customer service representatives, delivering less than the very best is never an option.
With COVID restrictions, particularly mask wearing, still in place, many Belizeans just sort of consider it all a new normal. But what about those who have mental challenges, are homeless, or elderly people without a support system? How are they coping during these difficult times? Tonight, News 5 brings you a report by Open Your Eyes producer Shanice Middleton, who visited the Welcome Resource Center in Belize City. There she met some of the people who drop in for a hot meal, a bath, and sometimes enjoyable activities to ask them how COVID-19 is affecting their lives.
COVID-19 has affected every Belizean, whether mentally, financially, physically for those who have fallen ill, and even socially. However, we haven't heard from one of the vulnerable groups, those who are mentally challenged, about how COVID-19 has affected them. Today, I'm taking the time to have a one-on-one chat with the men and women here at the Welcome Resource Center. Let's head inside. Tell me, Ms. Carmita, do you know what is coronavirus?
Well, I think coronavirus is a sickness that comes to us and it kills us. It takes over your whole body system. It weakens us and it kills us. You know, and we wear these masks here to keep ourselves protected, or social distance, and wash our hands, sanitize our hands, you know, and to keep ourselves clean. I mean, I am no doctor, you know, but
I first heard about it on the radio, and the person that brings it never catch it here. He bring it with off of some plane where they never, you know, maybe check that thoroughly. And even the mother may catch it out of some page there.
And how did you feel when you first heard about this? You get scared, you get worried?
Well, to be truthful, I never scared. The thing why I scared about them, and I have cure for it, HIV, that's why I scared. That's my view, right? That's my point. I afraid for HIV. But the virus, the other virus I know, because the things in that they say that you're supposed to do, when I do home, I don't got no mask. The only year I got my mask, or when I go, sometimes I even forgot my mask. Because I got a shortness. And the shortness, the covering of my nose, make I breathe more faster, more efficiently, right?
Have you ever been stopped by police for not wearing a mask properly, or for being out during curfew hours?
Curfew hours, and they asked me what purpose I have to do out there. I tell them I was helping a lady, asked me for carrying sheet table for her, and get bread where he asked me for carrying for her, and they stopped me, and I never have on my mask at that time. And they tell me the next time they catch me, they will carry me for not wearing my mask.
Has COVID affected you in seeing your loved ones anyhow? Have you gone to go and heal them or spend time with them?
I'm going to heal them today. I've spent time with them today.
And how often you go?
2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks?
Every 2 weeks.
So COVID hasn't affected you from go wrong then? They not try shun you in any way or anything of the sort? Police ever stop you for not having on a mask or?
I have on my mask all the time. Try to keep on my mask.
Have you heard about the COVID-19 vaccine?
Yes, I've taken it also. I did the first injection on the 14th of April.
Were you afraid to take it?
At first I was reluctant, but I said it's better that I take it so I could prevent myself from catching COVID.
Do you tell anybody else here at the Welcome Resource Center, do you encourage them to go ahead and take the vaccine as
Yes, Miss Ellis invited us to go and take it, and then I'm a mental patient, so they came for me and I took me to the institution there, and then they gave me.
Did it hurt?
It hurt I had fever for 2 days.
So you actually had side effects?
I had some side effects.
Just fever?
Just fever. And a little pain and swelling at this site. Yes.
Okay, and so from since then you continue to practice your prevention methods?
I make sure I wash my hands every time, sanitize when I come in. I bathe often when I come off the streets. I make sure I social distance, wear my mask every time.
The Welcome Resource Center is located at the corner of Vernon and Tibrew Streets and is open Monday through Friday. They welcome all drop-ins and support for their feeding program. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.